Juice. 2050 stays at the game, bro. Still on a mission, still love to help, still listen. Still sending big cuz hot wing plates to the prison. Still don't know it all, still learning, still trying to get it. Still hunting battle pass, still trying to find a way to fix it. Still about the business, still a drop everything in an instant. Still fall short, so I'm still always asking for forgiveness. Still use ginger root to get a boot to the common cold. Still walking angels with these demons, still trying to steal my soul. Still praying dry, still pray before I pull off in a ride. Still meditating on the trampoline, gazing in the skies. Still thank the Most High, I'm included in the 12 tribes. Still ask the Most High to have mercy on the 12 tribes. Still keep a backpack full of books everywhere I go. Just in case I have to hit you with the word while I'm at the store. Still sit still like Isaiah 30 and 7. Still number high, used to have a black tray 5'7". Still fight thoughts cause I still could snap and go off. Still hate that people think you read the Bible make a man soft. Ain't new victims, still hate the system, no justice. Still beat the fact that a lot of these judges corrupted. I'm still like a statue, no man, no actor, no idol, no factor. This Torah gon' hack you. These demons, I slap them, then drag them, then rap them. Got powers from the method to cast them. How to you or a castle, and tools how we travel. The bruise, hit the scene that was shook like a rattle. The kingdom of these heathens is crumbling like crackers. From the 4th tribe, but it's 12, so I'm repping them. 5'9", but I'll cut the head off from them from them. Last Sabbath took my blood brother to the water. Celebrated drinking Morgan David out the bottle. Passed down the knowledge to my son and my daughter. I'm still chewed up and spit out, held back and kept down. Lied to and lied on, stood up and let down. From all that I done suffered, ain't no way I can't compare the pain. Nothing can stop me on my hurricane. I'm still at it, I'm still at it, I'm still at it, I'm still at it. When you work to build a kingdom, I don't care about nothing else. I can't be stopped by anything, not even death. I'm still at it. I'm still at it. I'm still at it. See me? I'm still at it. I'm still at it. I'm still at it. I'm still at it. I'm still at it.
Hey, Shalom, Yasharallah. Want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahawahshi, Bahashim Rakakwadash. All right. We know Cap, Nation of the Kings and Priests. So, y'all got to forgive me, because this, I had something prepared for this presentation. And quite frankly, every time I kept, finding one thing, I found other things, and it just kept unraveling. And quite honestly, I'm not gonna really present everything that I found, but I am gonna present the main highlights of this discussion and this discovery. So what we're going to be discussing today is the native tribes who consisted within the Inca Empire. Within the Inca Empire, we referred to as the sun god Inti And basically what this was is, or who we perceived him to be, is Yahawahshi. And what we're going to see today, and the outcome from this presentation, is basically that he is Yahawahshi, and there's no other way around it. I mean, basically, it's him, you know. And now I prepared us a quick presentation, but what I'm going to be grabbing is scriptures and also just aligning it with, this deity, or this, and deity is not necessarily a bad word when we're talking about Yahawahshi, because he is a form of God, right? Or a power. He is our King of Kings, Lords of Lords. So, when it comes to us putting him in that environment, that's who he is. He belongs there. Us as the sons of God, we are part of those, that seed and that lineage that, was from the beginning, and who Yahawahshi chose, through Yahweh. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and just continue, and we're going to grab a little bit of information on who Inti, the sun god, right, from the Incan Empire. So quick rundown of who he is, right? So Inti, also called Apu Panuchu, in Inca religion, the sun god. He was believed to be the ancestors of the Incas, right? Inti was at the head of the state cult, and his worship was imposed throughout the Inca Empire. He was usually represented in human form, his face portrayed as a gold disc from which the rays and the flames extended. So the two depictions that you see here, right? So the one at the far left-hand side of your screen, that is a representation, or a what we call it, our godly representation, right, of Inti. So as you can see, there are a couple things. One is the sun. Two, obviously the garment, right? And you see the snakes at both of his hands, or the serpents at both of his hands. So just pay close attention to those things. And as we progress in this presentation, we're going to see, those things come to life. Now, this source is from, the Britannica.com. It's not my words. This is from that source. All right. So now the other depiction right at the bottom of the text is the actual portrayal of the face, right? And you will see this depiction in many of the Incan art, or what you will see the Incan wear, like the royalty would wear these type of symbols within them. As the sun, we'll see the rays, right, and the extended flames, right, of it. So now, let me go here. So now watch this. All right, let me share my screen. Con. So now, as you can see, the depictions of the flags. Now, if you notice the two flags on your far right-hand side, these are what we will call today the Argentine flag. Usalake. The Argentine flag, right? And the Peruvian flag. These flags both had, I believe the Peruvian does not have that anymore, but they had it at one point. That was one of the original designs. They kept Inti in there, right? Argentina still has it, and Peru took it off, but originally they had the sun there as well, right? This is a depiction in Bolivia, where you see Inti there as well, with the rays. Now, here's another depiction. So now this is a depiction of Batucci worshiping Cuenca in the 17th century. And now in the Second Chronicles, now if you look, this is what they painted us in. However, you see us, worshiping it, or Salaka, what I should say, kneeling to it. And you see the depiction there, right? Now, what you see here, right? And this is at the actual Costco, location. As you can see, right in the middle, every year they do a depiction of Inti Rami. Inti Rami is an actual feast day that we would celebrate in accordance to the sun, right? Now, this would align with winter solstice. However, the Christian, or I should say the Catholicism or Catholic Church, they instructed us not. Basically, they kept us from keeping this feast, and eventually they demolished it. But now, obviously, with an influence of Christianity, it came back. The actual calendar date that this was taken from, and I'm going to argue, and we're going to go through proof of it. I'm going to argue that this was actually Passover, right? And it has all indications of Passover, right? But as you can see here, this is a depiction of, brothers and sisters in garments. We see priests here. We see royalty, right? Right, another depiction when Christianity came into play, trying to ease Christianity and mix it within our belief so that we eventually would stick to Caesar Borgia, basically, right? So anyways, so this is where I got the information from and concerning the Inca sun god, Inki. But now watch this. Here's the festival that I was talking about, right? So go dish with the rays of flames extended. Inki's sister and consorted was the moon, Mama Kala or Mama Quilla, who was portrayed as a silver disk with human features. Among the 20th century Quechua people, Inki was occasionally confused with Christ or God. See that? Why? Because he created. It says that he created the Inca people specifically, right? That he gave light. That he referred to himself and a savior of the people, right? Like it says. So watch this. Inti Rami. Now this is the feast day. Was one of the cycles of Rami or festivals held in June after the Spanish conquest. In May or June, to coincide, here's the point, with the Feast of Corpus Christi. Now, the Feast of Corpus Christi was something instituted by the Catholic Church. So obviously we know that there had to have been some mixture of what they wanted in there, just like Constantine did, just like when they changed the Sabbath from what we would call so-called Saturday to Sunday. These are things that was instituted by the Christian Church or Catholicism to mask and to cover up the true worship, right, of what we did, and the true feast days of what we did. Inti Rami honored the sun god and was celebrated with what? Animal sacrifices. You see that? And what? Ritual dances. All right. Now here. Now, what you see here in front of you is a priest. This priest has a staff, as you can see. Brother looking royal, by the way, man. The brother is looking, he's looking fly, man. Absolutely fly. Right? But anyways, so you see that he was, he's getting ready for his feast day. Right? And as he's getting ready, we're going to read. All right? So now watch this. And the Inti Rami festival was revived and is among the most spectacular attractions in Peru. Every June, the city of Cusco prepares for the festival over 9 days. Right? The first several days are more about partying and celebration than ancient tradition, but the 24th of June is where the real festival of Inti takes place. In downtown Cusco is closed and traffic ancestors or dance singers and performers gather all of their sinew or provinces of the former Inca Empire. The two most coveted roles of those of the Sipa Inca and his consort Mama Ocola. Now the Sapa, that's what we would call the king, or the king of the land, right? They are very carefully chosen from among the talented, famous Cuenca actors and performers, and portray the dignity and grandeur of the empire and empress. So here's a little bit of what they would dress, and man, this is a fly dress, man. I mean, this is you know, how they represented themselves, man. So as you can see, you know, this was a festival, man. Right? Look at this in 1944. Look at that. That's pretty fly. Right? So now, look at this, family. Actually, you know what? Let me go here. So like it, Incan sun god source. Look what it says. Inki, the sun god, source of warmth and light, and a protector of the people. Right? So now watch this. This in the depiction or in the festival, guess what they're doing? That's a llama. A baby llama. Right? And guess what they're doing? Look at this, family. Dressing up in priest garments. You have a high priest here. Here, let me see if I could highlight. There we go. So this is your high priest. Here's your altar. Right? Look at this, brother. Look at the head garments, man, or the headwear. Right? Look at the altar. Now, obviously, they're not going to they're not going to do sacrifice. They're depicting, right? Look at the fringes, right? Look at the horn and the staff. I mean, I'm checking boxes here, man. Right? Keep checking boxes. These are Israelites, right? Look at these fly garments, man. So this is a Levitical, right? A Levitical priesthood reenactment. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Right? And what are they doing? Sacrificing a lamb. Right? These are priests. Right? Sacrificing lamb. So, you know, I mean, again, just checking the boxes, man. sacrifice. So like it. Checking the boxes. All right. Levitical priests, Inca priests. Right. So we got that. We got that. So now these are some of the older depictions of the Sapa Incas. Look at, you see the Inki here. Look at the staff, right? Look at this brother, right? Looking drip drip, man. For real. I'll dress that. I'll dress like that for next Sabbath, bro. Like straight up. I mean, just beautiful garments. Look at this brother. Right? And this is the Sapa. They have a statue of him today. Right? See that? Look, got Inky right there. Got his staff. His Mitri. Got the fringes. Right? This is at their Salakia. This is I believe it's in Peru. Yep, and Aguagas Calantias, Peru. Statue of Sapa Inca. Look at that. Khan, who lived in the 1400s. Who knows, man? Right? Who knows? The Most High knows, bro. I mean, all this that you're seeing here is Hebraic Israelite culture, right? So now we went through who Inki is, right? The sun god, source of warmth, right? Source of warmth, right? Hold on. Salakia. Here we go. So here we go. So now we've broken down who he is. So now let's link him up because scripture got to also line up with what we're saying today, right? So now watch this. Let's go to the book of Revelation because he says it himself, right? He says who he is himself. Revelation 22 and 16. So now watch this. This is Revelation 22 and 16. And this is Yahawahshi, have sent my angel to give you this testimony for the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, the bright and morning star. So even Yahawahshi himself refers to himself as the bright and the morning star, right? Depicting himself as the sun, right? So now watch this. This is in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3, and we're going to start out verse 1. Or let's start out verse 2, right? And it says, O Lord, have I heard thy speech and was afraid, O Lord, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. In wrath, remember mercy. Verse 3, God came from Teman. Now, when it says God here, it is not talking about Yahweh. It's talking about Yahawahshi. How do we know that? When you go into that word, God, it means Elohim, which also can mean messenger and or a messenger of God. So now God came from Teman. How do we know that's Yahawahshi? Teman is where, Akim? Teman is in the land of Edom, right? So now you're going to line this up with Isaiah 63, him coming from Barza, talking about Yahawahshi. And the Holy One from Mount Parma, Salakia. Selah, his glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. And his brightness, right, was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hands, and there was the hiding of his power. What does that mean? His brightness as the sun, right? And was a light. What gives light? Brightness and the sun give light. What are the horns? That could mean a couple things. That could mean either the stakes that pierced him as he was on the cross, or also horns of him as the shepherd, right? Calling himself the good shepherd. And you could read that in John, the 10th chapter, right? But again, him referring himself as the bright and the morning star, right? Revelation. So now, let's continue. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 5. Ye are the children of the light, right? And the children of the day. What's the brightness of the day? What's the light in the day? That is the sun. And not of the night, nor of darkness, right? Now, when we go into so like when we go into Inki, it is said here that he is what? The sun, or depicted as the sun, right? Aligning with what? What the scripture says. And what is the script that the Incas believed that they came from Inki? Inki's Yahawahshi. Yahawahshi, the sun, the light, the bright and the morning star. If he created us, right? And you could read that in Genesis, the first chapter and the 27th verse, where through Yahweh he created us. In that we are the children of the day, right? So now let's get to the serpents, because remember, family, when we saw him, he had what? 2 serpents, right? So we go to what? Isaiah 6. And we'll start at verse 2. This is Isaiah 6 and verse 2. Above it I stood, and the seraphims, which one had 6 wings. So now what do we see? The depiction of Inki. We see him having wings here, right? And we see the serpent. We see the wings here, and then we see the serpent, right? Oops, so like it. All right. Has 6 wings. With twain he covered his face, and with twain he covered his feet, and with twain he did fly. Right? Verse 3, and one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. This is just like we read in Habakkuk, right? Verse 4. And the post of the door moved, and the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. Then said I, woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For mine eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then flew one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken from the tongues of the altar, right? And said up and laid it upon my mouth and said, lo, this hath touched thy lips, and thine iniquity is away, and thy sin is purged. You see that? This is talking about Yahawahshi, because only Yahawahshi can take away sins. And he is what? Depicted as a serpent, right? Where else do we read that? In the book of Numbers. Let's go to there. The book of Numbers, chapter 21. All right, we'll start at verse 6. And the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much of the people of Israel died. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against thee. Pray unto the Lord, he have take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. Verse 8. And Yahweh said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon the pole, and it shall come to pass that everyone who was bitten, he will look upon it, he shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass and put it on a pole, and it came to pass that if a serpent had bit any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he did what? He did live. All right, so from there, let's correlate that with John chapter 3, right? John chapter 3 and verse 14, and Moses lifted up the serpent and as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. Why? That whosoever shall believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life, forgiveness of sin. Right? Who is he? He is referring himself as the serpent. The same thing that we see here, right? And Inti, right? As the serpent. Now, granted, yes, we see a depiction in the scriptures. You know, obviously, you know, white woolly hair and dark skin. You know, but us as natives, we didn't have the book of Revelation, you know what I'm saying? So this was our depiction, you know. But unfathomably, Inki, the sun god, is Yahawahshi. All right. Hope y'all enjoyed this and this was helpful to make y'all recognize that the natives of South America are the children of Israel. Kahala Yahweh. Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakwadash, we know cap. And Shalom, family.